Blood is everything. It's a record of who and what you are, where you come from, and who your family is. Despite differences and arguments, blood will still run red. Thing is, family can't always control where blood flows. Sup y'all, I am Zorobski Crystal of channel Zorobski. Welcome to today's speed draw, speed ink welcome to today's art piece time lapse, that's it, called Abdication. Preface as always, feel free to mute if my commentary ain't your flavor. Let's get to the specs. Abdication is an A2 size that's 16.5 inches by 23.4 inch piece, monochromatic ink like a newspaper, black, white, and red all over. Coincidentally, as I was inking and a lot of the black border was finished, the occasional mosquito would like buzz up to the drawing because, they're attracted to black. I think I was inking the blood at the time with it's either red gel pen ink or red permanent marker ink. Speaking of blood, cut to the content. Abdication is something of a self portrait inspired by woodcuts or woodblock prints and very, very loosely based off of the seppuku ritual. The figure in the foreground is chained to hooded figures not from a friendly desert community where the sun is hot, the moon is beautiful, and mysterious lights pass overhead while we all pretend to sleep. While the chained woman is cutting her abdomen across with a hand axe, the blood that flows on the tatami mats form a tree with hatchet marks about the trunk, hence places where the pools of blood kinda cut off. Actually, for the hooded figures, Night Veil was not the inspiration. What I used for reference here are the love gloves from Adventure Time. They had these rows of jagged, quote unquote, floating teeth I felt were the right kind of eerie, and I wanted that look, so I copied it for Abdication. My brother saw the work in progress and he thought they looked more like No Face from Spirited Away when he got corrupted and he's devouring everything. That, or to him, to my brother, the general look looked like it was inspired by Fail Frame. Speaking of spooky shades and shadows, aside from landing this during Halloween season slash Inktober, I realized this way back, but y'all ever notice there are no shadows in ukiyo-e? That's why there's as little as possible cross-hatching on the central figure. But I didn't want the background to be completely stark, like I wanted to avoid purely pristine blocks of white. That's one of the reasons this piece took longer than expected. It's definitely one of the quicker works since the palette's limited, ink dries fast, and I had to nix making a study altogether for time constraints and went straight to paper. The line work was done in a day. But the inking took the better part of the week. I had to restock with jumbo markers for the border and make sure I didn't run out of M&G red gel pens. I knew I was gonna ink the texture of the tatami mats from the beginning, but I saw the shoji screen behind the hooded figures and I didn't want them plain. So I cross-hatched the rest for that pinch of visual flavor. Side note, like I said, the picture is a very, very inexact inspiration of seppuku or harakiri. By no means is it an accurate representation of its source material, focusing more on emotional content. If I did something or missed something, like there's something wrong with the shoji screen, or if there's a proper way to arrange tatami mats, then I'm sorry. So what is seppuku? In a nutshell, ritual suicide following dishonor in samurai culture. Y'all should look it up because I'm no expert on the matter. Back to the drawing. Am I portraying my suicide? No. I'm portraying me cutting out my uterus. Or at least damaging it enough so it's useless. A useless uterus, fit for somebody relinquishing the ability to make and give life. Hence the tree with axe marks in its trunk. Ever since I was a child, I knew. When I told my family I never wanted children, you get the usual reaction of gasps, laughs, you'll change your mind, and will your boyfriend think? The next time I reiterated my case, this time inquiring about a tubal ligation, basically the female equivalent of a vasectomy, getting your tubes tied, because I gotta know how many paintings do I have to sell to get me such a procedure, my family laughed in my face. Mind you, I come from a family of doctors. Most children learn to distrust adults and family members before they're even teenagers. It took me being in my early 20s to reach this level of mistrust of my clan because I'm that kind of idiot. Naive, stupid, mentally, emotionally retarded idiot. When I was looking for long term contraceptives, I knew there'd be hurdles aside from the price. A plethora of examples enumerated by Kristen Rater in her TED Talk link below includes overreaching healthcare providers that ask too many irrelevant questions. I expected my own flesh and blood to be a hassle, but not this much of a hassle, all the more considering they are healthcare providers. In many ways, I am immature, childish, unsure. But the one thing I have been sure from the beginning is that I will never be nor want to become a mother. As far as family goes right now is enough. For me, my roots are enough. But not for my parents who eventually want grandchildren, not for my last living grandparent who wants a great grandchild, millions of kids parentless, and adoption is out of the question. The world doesn't need any more humans, let alone my offspring. So, when my relatives and parents laughed, I felt so alone and small and belittled and angry. So hurt, and I hated them so much I wanted to run away and hurl myself off of our building. Many moments in my life, I think back to the time I should have jumped, and this is one of them. I felt so small in proportion to their hive mind, just like the chained woman in the picture. I guess they figured I'm too stupid to make up my mind. Like, sing me praises of my art all you want. Tell me how great I am and proud you all are that the canvases are pretty and I managed to sell and that I'm a cum laude graduate. But when I step onto your field in the hopes of practicing autonomy over my own body, apparently I'm gonna regret it or change my mind. And then some people wonder, gee, I wish my child opened up to me more. Cue ridicule of life choices they finna get some research on. But you know what? It's okay to be alone. Fuck it! I've been alone before, I'll be alone again. I'll not only earn enough for a tuba ligation one day, but I'll get it behind their backs if I have to. Hell, I'll gut this body myself if I have to. Bleeding out on a floor alone is better than breeding unwanted children into this world! God, even unconscious details manifest in abdication, things I didn't see till later. I was conscious of details like the way the kimono was folded incorrectly, mirroring the robes of the dead. I was conscious of the face being uneven because that's normal in real life people. I didn't see until later the folds of the lower half of the robe, cradled in the unarmed hand, look almost like a swaddled baby, or that if you cover half of the chained woman, you might see a different facet. I'll leave that open to interpretation. I was going to attach a vlog commentary at the end, but those could be video essays in another time. Y'all know where to find me. Ciao for now, Crystallites.